Reinforcement is a universal means of, well, reinforcing your standard equipment to make it stronger. It works on all of your weapons, armors, accessories, and special equipment. Your reinforcement level will be indicated by the plus number shown in front of a gear's name. If it doesn't have any, then it's +0. The benefits reinforcements gives are related to what equipment type it is. Weapons will give you more damage, armors naturally will give you more defense, and so on. But that's just a quick rundown. We'll need to converse with a well-known lady and her machine to get more information. She goes by Kiri, formerly known as Hitler's Satan.
Very rude, Rick. Are you still mad about the fact that I stole 170 mil from you as I kept pretending to fail your reinforcement more than 20 times in a row?
Yes, I'm still mad about that.
Hey, newbie. That's a nice weapon that you got there. You and I will surely get to know each other more intimately, eventually. Everyone in Arid knows about me and this big machine.
Alright, we get it already. Kiri has a reinforcement machine, and just as a note, if you're in a guild, there is also one found in the lounge. Standard issue, courtesy of yours truly. She still keeps the proceeds, by the way. The reinforcement machine is simple to use. You drop a piece of equipment in and you attempt to reinforce it, but it comes at a price.
Yes, a steep price, if I might add.
The price to reinforce is simply gold and clear cube fragments. Gold is, well, gold, but clear cube fragments come from disassembly that we talked about in the last video. As a reminder, you generally want to disassemble blue uncommon gear for clear cubes, but if you're trying to mass a lot of clear cubes, then your white common gear can also be used as well. And that's all you really need, gold and clear cubes, an exponentially increasing amount of it, with the limiting factor generally being the gold. It can very quickly get out of hand, and before you know it, you've already spent tens of millions on just a few attempts. Kiri is the definition of a gold sink.
Oh, guilty as charged.
Okay, so like I said, you just need to throw your equipment into the reinforcement machine. It can't be done on gear that is locked with a yellow padlock, or gear that specifically says it doesn't work on. The only other gear that is ineligible for reinforcement would be cursed gear or gear that is endowed with interdimensional energy. This pink stat right here. In this case, you can't use reinforcement anymore, and instead you'll be using the amplification system. That will be discussed in the next video, so disregard that fact for now. Everything else though should be fair game for reinforcement. Now your first few reinforcements are completed very quickly. This is because their success is guaranteed and there is no risk to do so. As the reinforcement level increases, the rate will decrease, and thus the success chance will not be as certain. The success chance, at least for your first 10 reinforcements, will be displayed here. But here is also a quick list as well. At the higher reinforcements, the machine gives you a few seconds during the attempt to hit escape if you wish to reconsider. It's saved my butt a few times, since sometimes I've accidentally tried to reinforce equipment past the safe point. By safe point, I mean if I were to fail a reinforcement attempt higher than that level, my equipment will break and be lost forever. It's scary stuff. So what is this safe point? Well, it depends on the gear. All standard equipment is lumped together in one group, the outlier being the weapon in a category all on its own. You'll notice that all the way up from +0 to +10, I am completely free to fail at whim, and trust me, you will fail. It's the main reason Kiri is such a thief.
Hey, I heard that.
If you fail any reinforcement past +10 though, the gear is lost forever. The only way to combat against that is by use of a reinforcement protection ticket. This is a Sarah item now, but it has also been a staple event item that we've received a great many times already.
Oh, I love that item.
Yeah, I bet. A protection ticket will ensure that your item isn't broken when you fail past the safe point, but it will reset your reinforcement level back to 0. No!
Yes!
A warning is displayed every time you attempt a reinforcement past the safe level for your equipment, and it even shows how many protection tickets that you have on your person below the success chance. Now, like I said, weapons are a little different in that their safe limit is not 10, but instead it's 12. You can only break a weapon at +13 and higher reinforcement attempts. The kicker here is that your +11 and +12 reinforcement have a different penalty upon failure. Failure will result in your reinforcement rate to instead drop by 3 levels. So while it's safe to go up to plus 12 on a weapon, you may find yourself attempting several times trying to do so. It's how Carrie stole all my fucking 170 mil.
Aw, Rick, you're just unlucky as all. Here, put your weapon in, I'll plus 12 it right now. I promise.
No, you took all my gold. That is unforgivable. So if you're gonna go through with the hell that is reinforcement, you might as well capitalize on all the items that you can to help improve your success chances and ensure that you have the minimal amount of tears possible.
Tears of joy with how happy you'll be after succeeding a really high reinforcement level.
As mentioned, a protection ticket is used to protect your gear in case of failure past a safe point. Take note in what I said. It's only consumed if you actually fail the reinforcement, after which it is used up and sets your equipment reinforcement rate back to 0. If you succeed, then you get to keep the ticket to try another time. Just remember to have it on your person when you need it. It resides in your materials tab, and again, it will display during reinforcement how many that you have right here. Trust me, I've heard of and even had good friends whose items were destroyed when they assumed that they had tickets, but in fact did not.
Oh yeah, let me talk about this one. Look, it's got my face on it.
Fine.
Well, it's a usable item. When you use it, your success chance improves during reinforcement. That's it, right?
I mean, yeah, basically. It's hard to say by how much, but it doesn't hurt to use it. This is a level 7 Alchemist Profession item and provides your character with a buff that will last for 30 minutes as denoted on your buffs right here. Another item that provides the same effects is found in the title book. Completing these various achievements provides a title that, as it suggests, will increase your reinforcement success chance as well. I sadly cannot say to what extent because I don't know, but it doesn't hurt to have it on. Another item that may be helpful, especially when you're at plus 0 reinforcement, is a reinforcement ticket. It immediately jumps your current reinforcement level to the number indicated on the ticket. These tickets can come in many forms, of which have varying reinforcement levels and success chances. It won't cost any additional items for the boost, and upon failure, your current reinforcement level is retained. The last item related to reinforcement is the portable reinforcer, which is generally a lost treasure and or event exclusive item. It will attempt to reinforce your item at no gold or material cost. Obviously, this is highly recommended for attempts at the highest level to reduce the material burden. Of course, if there were no reason to reinforce, people wouldn't spend the millions required to do it. So what exactly is the benefit? Well, like I alluded to at the start of this video, reinforcement affects the various gear slots differently. Armors receive a small base amount of physical defense and a component of defense which acts as a multiplier for it. This value is insane and can skyrocket your physical defense values to obscene levels, especially when reinforcing past the safe point. Look at my Elven Knight. She's already easily exceeded the cap of 1.8 million defense. Now, although that number seems like it would be insane, it may not be as appealing as it sounds in this game. But considering this guide isn't about stats, just know that reinforcement is what makes this all possible. Accessories perform much the same as armors except for magic defense, again providing a component of magic defense which is a multiplier. Sub-equipments and magic stones will give you all 4 of the raw stats: strength, intelligence, vitality, and spirit. And your earrings will give you all 3 forms of attack. All values obtained from reinforcement scale exponentially. In other words, the jump in stats provided by each successive reinforcement level will be higher as you keep going, especially past the safe point. Now, I conveniently left out weapons because it's a much more important ordeal. Your weapon will provide the very useful benefit of physical and magic attack, but a massive amount of it. At plus 10, it's already making your weapon 20% stronger than the base stats that it started with, and after plus 12 or so, your reinforcement is nearing 40% stronger than the base stats of the weapon itself. You're quickly skyrocketing out of control if you're reinforcing any higher than that. Reinforcing your weapon can potentially be a big deal if your character depends on physical or magic attack. And when I say potentially, I really do mean potentially. Let me explain. Basically, with what I said, if your class benefits at all off of the physical and magic attack increase, then reinforcing your weapon really isn't an option for you. It's a requirement. It's a boost of damage that you cannot afford to skimp out on. If you're planning on keeping a weapon for an extended period of time, then reinforce it. But what about the classes who don't benefit from the physical or magic attack? With how the game's damage system works, completely fixed damage classes do not benefit at all from the physical and magical damage stat. Instead, their damage is derived from a different formula involving the independent damage stat. In this case, classes that are completely fixed damage have literally no use for the stats that reinforcement provides. We won't cover damage type very much in this guide, but here's how it generally works. If your skills do any component of physical or magic percent damage, then you reinforce your weapon. If your skills do completely fixed damage, then you can forgo reinforcing, since the stats that it provides do not add any benefits to you whatsoever. If I'm being honest here, reinforcing your weapon is probably the only thing I'd consider doing, especially for a newbie. With a little experience behind my back, I can very confidently say that Dungeon Fighter is a game that is immensely more focused around damage than it is defense. That means that if you're gonna bother with reinforcing, I'd most importantly focus with your weapon first and foremost. In fact, here is my personal ranking of order that you should bother with reinforcing. You'll get the most immediate benefit by doing it this way if you don't do it all at once. Like I said, reinforcement is expensive. Quite honestly, it's a feature that is not worth the value in gold when you're just starting out.
Hey, don't tell people that.
12 gear slots all reinforced to +10 will break your bank very quickly. So if you're gonna drop some money on some improvements, they better be worthwhile. All of this to say that the general strategy is that reinforcement is really only truly effective on your weapon. As the list suggests, I personally don't even bother with reinforcing anything but my weapon on most of my classes. If I was going to bother with it, I'd instead go all in with the amplification system instead of reinforcement. Speaking of which, Kiri, I think you've tortured me with your sight long enough. I think it's about time we go to meet your superior in damnation.
You're always so mean to both of us, Rick. But you send my wishes to that hot hunk Clonter, will ya?
Hot indeed. Because Kiri and the reinforcement system was just the outer gates of hell, newbie. Where I'm about to take you is the fiery pit of despair known as the amplification system. Only those few who are at the hyper end game are gonna even worry about this system. And I know you're just a newbie, but everyone needs to at some point in their life have a taste of the hell that awaits them.
Rick, you really need to chill with that edge.